So this right here is the entry task problem I gave today. It didn't go very well. My kids struggled through it, to be honest. So let's break it down, make sure you guys understand. It's all about exponent rules. We've got some fractional exponents, negative exponents here. We've got a radical. We're going to want to turn that into a fractional exponent. And here's our four options, multiple choice. Okay, so I'll show you how I would go about this problem. Remember, when it comes to exponent rules, there's a lot of different routes you can take. Some of you might do something first that I wouldn't do first. I've always told my students, wait to move any negative exponents till the very last step. Okay, so here's how I'd tackle this problem. First and foremost, x to the 0 power. One thing we know about anything to the power of 0, it will always equal 1. So x to the power of 0, this is really just a 1. So I can erase it and I can put a 1 down, but what's 1 going to do when you're multiplying it by something? Nada. It does nothing, right? All of this times 1 doesn't change this at all. So whenever I see something to the power of 0 in something like this that's being asked to be simplified, I just erase it right away because it usually doesn't have any effect on what's happening. So now I got to add my exponents here because we're multiplying bases that are the same. Exponent rules say to add your exponents, but the problem is we've got a fraction and a whole number. So I'm going to take -1 and I'm going to turn it into a fraction with a denominator of 3. So what is 1 as a fraction? Well, it'd have to be 3 over 3. So we're taking away 3/3 from 5/3. So remember, multiplying bases that are the same, add the exponents. If I'm adding 5/3 plus a -3/3, that leaves me with x to the 2/3. Okay, so I've cleaned up the top. I've gotten it to a single x value. And now I've got x to the -2nd power being multiplied by cube root of x. Now, one thing we need to understand is this. If I gave x to the 4/3 power, that is the same thing as the cube root of x to the 4th power. So the outside value is your denominator. The inside exponent is your numerator of the exponential fraction. So what number would be right here? If we have x to the power of nothing, we know there's actually a value there. We just don't ever show it. It's a 1. So what this is saying is 1 over 3 as a fraction. 4 over 3, 1 over 3. So I'm just going to erase this right here. And I'm going to change it to 1/3, x to the power of 1/3. That makes doing this bottom much easier. So now I've got x to the -2nd and 1/3 as the other exponent. We got a fraction, we got a whole number. We're going to do the same thing we did up here. I'm going to take -2 and I want to turn that into a fraction with the denominator of 3. Well, what number would have to go on top to make -2? That would have to be a 6. So now I've got bases that are the same being multiplied together, so I need to add my exponents. -6/3 plus 1/3 is going to give me x to the -5/3. -6 plus 1 makes -5. Okay, now we're dividing bases that are the same. And when you divide bases that are the same, the rule is to subtract the exponents. Subtract these exponents. So if I take 2/3 minus -5/3, when you show it out, you're subtracting a negative, which we should know by now is adding. So we're adding 5/3 to 2/3, leaving me with x to the power of 7/3. It can be written like this, or it can be written as the cube root of x to the power of 7. Now I'm going to look at both of those and try and find them over here in my 4 answers. We're going to take out 0. It's definitely not that. We're taking out b. It's not that. It's not this, but we are dealing with x to the power of 7/3. X to the power of 7/3 is our solution. We're going to go with D for that question. Now, all in all, my students did really, really well, except for that last and final step. They had some struggles here. I had a few kids saying 2/3 minus 5/3. Remember, we're minusing -5/3. So you got to pay close attention to those negatives. They will definitely make mistakes for you if you do not pay close attention to them. Study hard and good luck on your upcoming test.